So we're in the epilogue. Savitri and Satyavan have returned to the earth. There was a wonderful description of Savitri falling down through all the levels, carrying Satyavan's soul in her heart. And then they come to the level where the earth gravity asserts itself, and then she entered into trance. She was not conscious as they entered into the embrace of the earth. So that was at the end of book 11. And last week we read about how she woke up from her trance. And human she was once more, Earth's Savitri. But she feels within herself illimitable change because she has become so much more than Earth's Savitri. And then she wakes Satyavan by just gently touching his eyelids. And where we stopped last week, Satyavan is asking her, where have we been? So I will start, actually, I'm going to start reading now on line 79. This is Satyavan's speech. Whence hast thou brought me captive back, love chained, to thee and sunlight's walls, O golden beam and casket of all sweetness, Savitri, Godhead and woman, moonlight of my soul. For surely I have travelled in strange worlds, by thee companioned, a pursuing spirit. Together we have disdained the gates of night. I have turned away from the celestial's joy, and heaven's insufficient without thee. Where now has passed that formidable shape which rose against us, the spirit of the void, claiming the world for death and nothingness, denying God and soul? Or was all a dream, or a vision seen in a spiritual sleep, a symbol of the oppositions of time, or a mind-lit beacon of significance in some stress of darkness lighting on the way, or guiding a swimmer through the straits of death, or finding with the succour of its ray in a gully mid the crowded streets of chance, the soul that into the world adventure came, a scout and voyager from eternity. But she replied, our parting was the dream. We are together. We live, O Satyavan. Look round thee and behold, glad and unchanged, our home. This forest with its 1,000 cries and the whisper of the wind among the leaves, and through rifts in emerald seen the evening sky, God's canopy of blue sheltering our lives, and the birds crying for heart's happiness. Winged poets of our solitary reign, our friends on earth, where we are king and queen. Only our souls have left death's night behind, changed by a mighty dream's reality, illumined by the light of symbol worlds and the stupendous summit self of things, and stood at Godhead's gates, limitless, free. Which way are we going, Rosa? You will start? No? There, Bella.
I started from line 79.
Start from line 79.
Whence hast thou brought my captive leg, love changed, to see in sunlight sports, O golden moon, in casket of false sweetness, Savitri, Godhead and woman, moonlight of my soul.
So when Satyavan wakes and sees her, this is what he asks. As he's waking, he says, "Where have you brought me back from?" Whence means from where have you brought me back, like your captive, your prisoner, chained with love, so that he couldn't be separated from her. Brought me back to thee, to you, and to these walls of sunlight. You, who are yourself a golden beam of sunlight, and you are a casket. A casket is a very precious container in which you keep your jewels, your most precious things. You'll keep them in a very beautiful box or vessel. So he says, Savitri, you are a casket of all sweetness. You contain in you everything that is sweet. Oh, Savitri, you are both Godhead and woman. You have all your beautiful humanity, and at the same time, you have all your high divinity. And to me, he says, you are the moonlight of my soul. There's something very mysterious and beautiful about moonlight, no? Alice.
For surely I have traveled in strange worlds by thee accompanied.
Companioned, by thee companioned.
Companion. By thee companion, a pursuing spirit. Together we have disdained the gates of night.
So he says, surely I've been traveling in very strange worlds. He has, in fact, no? Companioned by you. You were with me the whole time. She didn't leave him, no? After he left, after the soul was taken out of the body, she stayed with him all the time. So he says, I've been traveling through these strange worlds, but you were always there as pursuing spirit. You didn't leave me alone. You were always there. And he said, together we have disdained the gates of night. We've turned away from those gates of night. We have to disdain. It means to feel contempt for something or scorn. They were not frightened They didn't turn away because they were frightened. They turned away because this was not for them. No. Dawn.
I have turned away from the celestial's joy, and heaven's insufficient without thee.
So they've disdained the gates of night, but he says, I've also turned away. They were offered the joy of being together in heaven. No? He says, but I didn't want to accept that, because those heavens would be not enough for me if you were not there. Here we have to remember that this is a part of the poem that Aurobindo did not have the possibility to reread and to do proofreading. So here it shows an apostrophe S, but I think when he was dictating, that is a mistake of the scribe. It's the heavens that he has turned away from would have been insufficient. They wouldn't have been real heavens if Savitri was not with him. Mila.
Where now hast passed that formidable strait, which rose against us, the spirit of the void, claiming the world for death and nothingness, denying God and soul?
Let's stop there in the middle of the line. Where has he gone? That powerful shadow, that shape, which rose up against us, opposing us, who seemed to be the spirit of the void, of the emptiness. He was claiming the whole world for death and nothingness. He was denying God and soul. So this shows us that Satyavan does have some memory of what passed. Maybe not a very, very detailed memory. It says further up the page, it says that he was vaguely recollecting, remembering vaguely. But some memory was there of that powerful shape, that figure of death, the spirit of the void, claiming the whole world for death and nothingness, denying God and soul. He was trying to persuade Savitri that there was no God and that the soul is just an illusion, and that all this nothingness belongs to him.
But why is he saying I have turned away? She was doing everything, basically.
But he was apparently also, I think it's very interesting that Aurobindo puts this here, that as if we didn't read about Satyavan and what he was feeling and experiencing, no? But here he seems to remember that, oh yes, I was offered these heavens, but now I am back on earth. I've turned away from those heavens where I couldn't possibly have stayed without you. Ganga Lakshmi.
Denying God and soul, or was all a dream, or a vision seen in the spiritual sea, a symbol of the opposition of time, or a pilot beacon of significance, in some stress of darkness lighting on the way, or guiding a swimmer through a strait of death, or finding with a succour of its way. In a gully mid a crowded street of chance, the soul that into the rugged adventure head, a scout and voyager from eternity.
So he says, what was all that I so vaguely remember? Was it all a dream? Or a vision? Was I in some kind of spiritual sleep? Was it a vision that was a symbolic vision? A symbol of the oppositions of time, the way that time seems sometimes to prevent us from progressing. Or was it something else? Was it a product of the mind? A mind-lit beacon. A beacon is a signal light, maybe a lighthouse or a light on top of a fire on the top of a hill. No? Perhaps this, what I saw and what I experienced, it was a beacon, but that it was a product of the mind, but giving some meaning and guiding, lighting on the way in some stress of darkness, some pressure of darkness. That's what he experienced. A signpost in the darkness. Or was that beacon maybe guiding a swimmer, somebody who has to swim through the straits, the very narrow passage of sea that we have to pass when we leave the body? No? Was it something like that? Some guidance on the way? Or was that light it doing even more than that, not just guiding, but helping? Succour is help, assistance. So with that light, discovering something that has fallen down into a gully. A gully is a narrow, like a canyon, a narrow crack in the earth, maybe because of erosion or something like that. No? A gully that has opened up in the midst of the crowded streets of chance, as if in a city street something has opened up and somebody has got lost, fallen into the gully, and this ray of light has come and is helping him to find his way out. This soul that has come perhaps accidentally into the world adventure, or he's come as a scout. A scout is somebody who goes ahead to find the way for people who are on a journey or for an army. The scouts are people we expect to show the way to the others, and they have to be very strong and brave, hardy people. No? A traveler from eternity, and he's fallen into this gully, and the light has come to him. Was it something like that which has happened to me? Slava.
But she
Replied.
our parting was in dream. Yeah, together, live, Satyavan. Look round, deep, and the whole, the left hand unchanted. Our home, this forest, which fountain cries, and the whisper of the wind among the leaves, and all
Through.
and through reeds in narrow streets, the evening sky was canopy of ruin sheltering our
lives.
Our lives, and the bird crying for happiness with poets of our sultry
Rain. The G is silent. Rain.
Our friends on earth where we are king and queen.
Thank you. So this is what she says. That sense we had of being separated for some time in that world of eternal night. That separation was the dream. It wasn't real. We are together and we are both alive, Satyavan. So look around and see the earth. Glad and unchanged, beautiful, cheerful earth, like it is this afternoon. Our home. She says, the earth is our home. We belong here. And here is this forest, this beautiful forest, with its 1,000 cries. There are many voices in the forest, birds and animals. And there's also the sound, the whisper, the very soft sound of the wind among the leaves. And look up. You can look through these rifts. It's again breakings or tearing, small openings in emerald. Though above them, there's all the beautiful green of the leaves. But if they look up, they can see through the leaves, they can see the evening sky. It is becoming evening. Here again, this scene, in this rifts in emerald scene, it's probably a mistake. It should be C-E-E-N. The evening sky, she says, that is God's canopy. This green thing we have out here is a canopy. It's a kind of protective covering. God's canopy of blue, sheltering our lives. So the sky, that beautiful blue sky, is protecting us. And we can hear the birds singing for sheer happiness. They sing because they are happy. I don't know whether birds really sing because they are happy, but we human beings, we feel as if they're expressing their happiness. She says those birds are the winged poets of our solitary reign, our kingdom here, where we are all alone in this forest, solitary, all alone. Those birds, those poets, they are our friends here on earth. And we are the rulers of this earth. We are king and queen. Will you read, please? Will you read?
Only old souls have left death night behind, changed by mighty crimson reality, illumined by the light of singing words, and the stupendous summit self of things, and stood at Godhead's gates, limitless, free.
That's the experience that they had, in Book 10 and 11. Their souls have left that night, that darkness of death behind. They've moved into the world of everlasting day. So our souls have been changed, he says, by a mighty dream's reality. That sometimes dreams are more real than earthly fact. So their souls have been changed by the mighty reality of that dream world, symbol world. And they've been illumined, lit up by the light of those symbol worlds that they have passed through. And they've even gone together. Savitri was invited to go beyond all the symbol worlds to the transcendent world. No? So that's where they went, to the stupendous summit self of things. And they've stood there together at Godhead's gates, at the gates of divinity, immortality, and they felt themselves limitless and free. Kamala.
Then, filled with the glory of their happiness, they rose and received clinging fingers love on each other in a silent look.
So they rose, they stand up. First they were lying, and then they sat and talked to each other. Now they stand up, and they just hold hands and look into each other's eyes with soft, safe, clinging fingers. They can really feel their bodies again, no? And they hold on to each other like that, tightly. They hung on each other with a silent look. But now he has other questions to ask her. Sarojini. There's somebody there? You want to read?
But he which a new wonder in his heart, and a new flame of worship in his eyes. What high change is in the of Savitri, like ever thou wast a goddess still and poor, and yet who mean by thy sweet human parts, God gave them, making the earth more divine.
Thank you. So when Satyavan looks at Savitri, he feels this high change that is in her, and he always thought she was wonderful, but now there's a new wonder in his heart and a new flame of worship. He always worshipped her, but now there's a new light has come into that worship in his eyes. And he asks her, how you have changed. What high change is in thee, O Savitri? What has happened to you? You were always bright. You were always a goddess, still, calm, and pure. And yet I loved you even more because of your sweet human parts, the parts that earth gave you, making you even more divine. Suresh.
My adoration fostered my desire, then to let it subject my marrying task, having my body and soul, my life is a capture, position sounds sweet, perfectly, the statue of silence in my temple sleep. The burning object and the golden guide.
Yeah, he's remembering now how he used to feel about her. Later he will speak about how that has changed. He says, I always adored you, and you surrendered to my adoration. And my desire bent down towards you to make you its subject, to claim you as my wife and possess you. And I was daring enough to embrace you. I claimed you in body and soul as my life's estate, the possession of my life. Rapture's possession, the delight, love's secret property. I experienced you as a statue of silence, always there in my spirit, which became like a kind of temple for you, as a statue of silence. And I experienced you as a divine being who could experience yearning and longing, and you were my golden bride, something infinitely precious and beloved. Super.
But now thou seemest almost to hide and fail, for mortal was she tangled below thy feet, and the whole world seemed only a part of thee, the presence that hushed heaven I inhabit, and thou looked on me in the gaze of the stars, yet art the earthly keeper of my soul, my life a whisper of thy dreaming thoughts, my moan a gleaming of thy spirit's beams, and day and night are of thy beauty thoughts.
Yes. So that is how I used to experience you, as a yearning Godhead and a golden bride. But now this high change has come about in you. And now you seem almost too high and too great for me, a human being, to worship. You become so great. It's as if the whole of time is just lying beneath your feet. You're dominating the whole universe. The whole world seems only a small part of you. Your presence has now become the hushed, the silent heaven that I live in. And you are looking at me in the gaze of stars, as if all the stars are her eyes looking at him out of distant space. And yet at the same time, you are the earthly keeper of my soul. You're my guardian here on earth, keeping my soul, looking after me. My life has become just like a whisper of your dreaming thoughts, as if I wouldn't exist if you didn't think of me. So if I experience mornings here on earth, that'll be like the shining wings of your spirit. Now it seems as if day and night are just part of your beauty. She seems so much greater and vaster and universal to him now.
He feels totally surrendered.
Yes. Sergei.
Hast thou not taken my heart of treasury in the secure environment of thy rest, awakened from the silence and the sleep? I have consented, or I say,
To be, yes. Haven't you taken my heart and kept it You kept it safe. You've treasured it in the secure environment of thy breast. You were looking after me all that time when I was lost and dead, no? And now I've woken up from that silence and that sleep, and it's as if I have agreed, I've accepted to exist again, to be again, because of you, for your sake. Lela.
By thee I have greatened my mortal arc of life, but now, far heavens, and marked in infinitudes, thou hast brought me thy illimitable gift.
Yes, we can stop there. So, from the time when they first met, he says, my mortal arc of life, the circle of my life, the horizon of my life has become so much vaster. You know? By thee I have greatened my mortal arc of life. But now it's even more than that. You know? Now you seem to have brought me as a boundless, illimitable gift, all kinds of great vastnesses, far heavens, unmapped infinitudes. You've brought me much vaster horizons and possibilities. Just by meeting you, my arc of life was greatened, but now you're bringing me so much more, he says.
Infinitude is itself, there is no boundary.
Yes. He says unmapped. Nobody's ever discovered or mapped those infinitudes. They're beyond all that. And then he says illimitable gift. Yes. Andrea.
If to fill?
Yeah.
If to fill these thou lift thy sacred flight, my human earth will still demand thy bliss.
Continue, please.
Make still my life through thee a song of joy, and all my silence wide and deep with thee.
Yes. So, even if you fly high up to fill those unmapped infinitudes, still, I'm a human being. My humanity, my human earth will still be longing for the bliss that you give. So please continue to make my life a song of joy by your presence through thee, and make all my silence wide and deep with thee, with your presence. That's a kind of prayer that he offers to her.
I said just now, we can play like this.
He is looking so up to
Yes.
He doesn't. He's afraid that maybe
She will
really
disappear.
Yeah.
Now you seem too high and great. So she's going to reassure him about that. Bhavana.
A heavenly queen transcending in his way, she clasped his feet by her enshrined hand, enveloped in a velvet robe of love, and answered softly like a murmuring wind. All now is changed, yet all is still the same.
So she bows down as she did when they first met. No, she clasps his feet, and her lovely hair falls down and in a velvet cloak of love. And she answers him, everything is changed, it's true, but in another way, everything is still the same. She's a heavenly queen, but she's surrendering to him, consenting to his will. Chandra.
Lo, we have looked upon the face world. Our life has opened with divinity. We have found identity with the Supreme and know His meaning in our mortal lives.
You can go on.
Our love has grown greater by the right touch and learned its heavenly significance, yet nothing is lost of mortal love's delight.
Yes. So she says our life has opened with divinity. And we've even had this amazing experience of identification with the Supreme, no? And we've become aware of his meaning, the meaning of the Supreme in our mortal lives, our lives here as human beings who have to die. So naturally our love has grown greater by that mighty touch of the Supreme, no? And it's learned what is its heavenly significance, its true divine significance. And yet, even in spite of that, nothing is lost of mortal love's delight. We can go on enjoying our human love, our human delight in each other.
That means the mortal love is equal to the
They can enjoy both. And she's just going to explain that. You can read it, please, Bhavan.
Shraddhavan.
Yes, so.
The word low in line
Low
5, 6, I don't know what it
means look. It's a poetic word. Look. And we had also behold. Sometimes you say lo and behold. See it. Yeah. Heaven's touch, yes.
Heaven's touch fulfills but cancels not our earth. Our bodies meet each other in the same last. Still in our breast, little heavenly sacred rhythm, our human heartbeat passionately flows. Still am I she who came to thee mid the moment of something lives upon this world's world. I am the madman, I am Savitri.
Yes. So we can understand this line, remember this line. Heaven's touch fulfills but cancels not our earth. This is a key sentence in Aurobindo's teaching, that the divine gives us fulfillment without cancelling out anything. It's this affirmation of the value of the human experience and the earthly existence. So she says we still will want to love each other physically, no? And still we'll feel that heartbeat, that heavenly secret rhythm of our human heartbeats passionately close to each other. I am still that same girl who came to you amid the murmur of sunlit leaves when they first met on the forest, on the edge of the forest. I'm still the Madran, the princess who came from Madra. I am Savitri. I haven't changed. Martin.
All that I was before I am to thee still, close comrade of the gods and hopes and toil. All happy contraries I would join for thee.
So I think that's easy to understand, no? All that I was before, it's the same, it's not changed. I'm still be the close comrade of your thoughts and hopes and your labors, your toils. And I want to bring together all happy contraries and opposites for thee. This passage, there's a nice story about this passage. I don't know when it happened, it must have been in the 40s perhaps, that there was a young couple in the ashram and they wanted to get married. But they somehow, through Uda, one of Mother's disciples, they asked the mother to choose somebody to marry them. And Mother said to Uda, Uda, you're a Brahmin, you can marry them. And so she left it to him to make all the arrangements and choose the ritual and so on. And he chose these lines from the top. All now is changed, yet all is still the same. Up to the end of the our wedded life, even more, a bit more. Yes, down to line 194. I think that's the part. So nowadays people still read that at marriages, these beautiful lines. Rosa.
What sweet revelations made in our life. I am thy kingdom, even as thou art mine, the sovereign and the slave of thy life. Colomb, voyager, sister of thy soul, and mother of thy want, thou art my world. The earth I need, the heaven my thoughts desire, the world I inhabit, and the God I adore.
Yes. So these are the happy contraries, the things that seem to be opposite. She says, all these sweet relations marry in our life. I am thy kingdom, you are my king, you rule me. But in the same way, you are my kingdom, I rule you. I am the ruler, but also the slave of you and your desire. Thy prone possessor. Prone means lying flat. So usually the position of the possessor is standing up in the position of mastery, no? But she's surrendered, she's prone, and yet she knows that she's possessing him as he is possessing her. I'm the sister of your soul, and I'm the mother of your wants and your needs, whatever it is, I will take care of you. No? You are my world. You are the earth that I need, and you're my heaven, the heaven that my thoughts are desiring. You're the world I inhabit. I live in you, and yet at the same time You are the God that I worship. I think we'll stop there for today. Where now has passed that formidable shape which rose against us, the spirit of the void, claiming the world for death and nothingness, denying God and soul? Or was all a dream, or a vision seen in a spiritual sleep, a symbol of the oppositions of time, or a mind-lit beacon of significance in some stress of darkness lighting on the way, or guiding a swimmer through the straits of death, or finding with the succour of its ray in a gully mid the crowded streets of chance the soul that into the world adventure came, a scout and voyager from eternity. But she replied, our parting was the dream. We are together, we live, O Satyavan. Look round thee and behold, glad and unchanged, our home, this forest with its thousand cries, and the whisper of the wind among the leaves, and through rifts in emerald seen the evening sky, God's canopy of blue sheltering our lives, and the birds crying for heart's happiness, winged poets of our solitary reign, our friends on earth, where we are king and queen. Only our souls have left death's night behind, changed by a mighty dream's reality, illumined by the light of symbol worlds and the stupendous summit self of things, and stood at Godhead's gates, limitless, free. Then, filled with the glory of their happiness, they rose, and with safe clinging fingers locked, hung on each other in a silent look. But he, with a new wonder in his heart, and a new flame of worship in his eyes, what high changes in thee, O Savitri! Bright ever thou wast, a goddess still and pure, yet dearer to me by thy sweet human parts, earth gave thee, making thee yet more divine. My adoration mastered, my desire bent down to make it subject, my daring clasped, claiming by body and soul my life's estate, rapture's possession, love's sweet property, a statue of silence in my temple spirit, a yearning Godhead and a golden bride. But now thou seemst almost too high and great for mortal worship. Time lies below thy feet, and the whole world seems only a part of thee. Thy presence, the hushed heaven I inhabit, and thou look'st on me in the gaze of the stars, yet art the earthly keeper of my soul, my life a whisper of thy dreaming thoughts, my morns a gleaming of thy spirit's wings, and day and night are of thy beauty part. Hast thou not taken my heart to treasure it in the secure environment of thy breast? Awakened from the silence and the sleep, I have consented for thy sake to be. By thee I have greatened my mortal arc of life. But now far heavens, unmapped infinitudes, thou hast brought me, thy illimitable gift. If to fill these thou lift thy sacred flight, my human earth will still demand thy bliss. Make still my life through thee a song of joy, and all my silence wide and deep with thee. A heavenly queen, consenting to his will, she clasped his feet, by her enshrining hair enveloped in a velvet cloak of love, and answered softly like a murmuring lute. All now is changed, yet all is still the same. Lo, we have looked upon the face of God. Our life has opened with divinity. We have borne identity with the Supreme, and known his meaning in our mortal lives. Our love has grown greater by that mighty touch, and learned its heavenly significance. Yet nothing is lost of mortal love's delight. Heaven's touch fulfills, but cancels not our earth. Our bodies need each other in the same last. Still in our breasts repeat heavenly secret rhythm, our human heart beats passionately close. Still am I she who came to thee mid the murmur of sunlit leaves upon this forest verge. I am the Madran, I am Savitri. All that I was before, I am to thee still. Close comrade of thy thoughts and hopes and toils, all happy contraries I would join for thee. All sweet relations marry in our life. I am thy kingdom, even as thou art mine, the sovereign and the slave of thy desire. Thy prone possessor, sister of thy soul and mother of thy wants. Thou art my world. The earth I need, the heaven my thoughts desire, the world I inhabit, and the God I adore.